On June 25, 1876, the plains of Montana witnessed one of the most iconic clashes in American history, the Battle of the Little Bighorn. It was here that Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer led his 7th Cavalry into a fatal confrontation with Lakota and Northern Cheyenne warriors. But amidst the chaos and carnage, how many soldiers truly perished, and who were the rare survivors? In this video, we look into eyewitness accounts and historical records to uncover the stark realities of Custer's last stand. Join us as we explore the fate of the 7th Cavalry, where the only confirmed survivor among Custer's direct command was a horse named Comanche, ridden by Captain Miles Keogh. While legends and myths have swirled around lone survivors, the truth remains elusive. Discover the true scope of this tragic battle and its aftermath. Learn about the bravery, the sacrifice, and the enduring legacy of those who fought on both sides of this pivotal moment in American military history. June 25, 1876, a day forever etched in American history as the Battle of Little Bighorn, or as many know it, Custer's last stand. But how many soldiers were truly lost in this brutal confrontation? What really happened on that fateful day, and how does it connect with the legacy of Native American tribes who stood their ground? Now we set the record straight, honoring the memories of all involved and providing an in-depth look at the death toll, the aftermath, and the cultural significance of the battle. Led by Lieutenant Colonel George A. Custer, the 7th Cavalry Regiment was tasked with confronting a large Native American force composed of Lakota Sioux, Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors. But Custer, underestimating their numbers and strength, split his command into 3 battalions, 5 companies under his direct control, 4 under Major Reno, and 3 under Captain Benteen. As Major Reno led his battalion in a diversionary attack, Custer advanced towards the native encampment. His plan? Capture women and children to force the warriors to surrender. But he was gravely mistaken. Over 2,000 native warriors, led by legendary figures such as Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, awaited his arrival. By the time Custer realized the size of the force he faced, it was too late. The fight was quick and brutal. Custer's 5 companies, roughly 210 to 260 men, were overwhelmed. Surrounded and outnumbered, Custer's battalion was wiped out to the last man in what would later be known as Custer's last stand. But this tragic day wasn't the end for everyone in the 7th Cavalry. Only Custer's battalion perished. Major Reno and Captain Benteen, fighting nearby, managed to rally their forces and hold a defensive position for nearly 2 days. They would eventually be rescued by General Terry's approaching column. The total death toll for the U.S. Army at Little Bighorn reached approximately 274 men. Among them were Custer and all of the soldiers directly under his command. Major Reno's battalion suffered around 30 to 40 casualties during their retreat and defense, while Benteen's men stood their ground until reinforcements arrived. For the Native American forces, the victory came at a cost. While precise numbers are unclear, it is believed that around 50 native warriors were killed in the battle, and many more were wounded. But this battle was about much more than numbers. For the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes, the Battle of Little Bighorn symbolized resistance, an affirmation of their right to defend their land, their people, and their way of life. Sitting Bull's vision of victory had come true, but the victory would be short-lived. In the months that followed, the U.S. government intensified efforts to force native tribes onto reservations. Among the survivors of that day was not a man, but a horse. Comanche, the steed of Captain Miles Keogh, was found gravely injured but alive. He became a living symbol of the battle's aftermath, one of the only survivors of Custer's direct command. There were others too, like Daniel Canepe and John Martin, messengers sent away before the final clash, whose survival added to the complex web of histories from that day. However, myths and legends have clouded the truth. Over 125 individuals falsely claimed to be survivors of Custer's last stand. Yet only a few accounts, like those of Curley, a native scout, hold any validity. As dusk fell on June 25, 1876, the battlefield was strewn with the bodies of Custer's men. But this wasn't the end of the struggle. The battle, while a devastating defeat for the 7th Cavalry, didn't stop the westward expansion. Within a year, the U.S. military forced the remaining tribes onto reservations. The story of Little Bighorn is one of loss, resilience, and the complexities of American history. Over 260 soldiers died over the course of 2 days. Many were buried where they fell, while others, including Custer, were later reinterred at more prominent locations like West Point. For the native tribes, it was a hard-fought victory that would remain in their cultural memory for generations. The Battle of Little Bighorn reminds us of the cost of underestimation and the fierce determination of those defending their homes. While Custer's last stand has been immortalized in American lore, the legacy of this battle belongs equally to the native warriors who fought for their freedom and the soldiers who paid the ultimate price. Thanks for watching. For more in-depth explorations of military history from the past, subscribe to Military Hub and hit the notification bell. Together, let's honor the memory of our past heroes.